Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture. Today we are going to discuss resolve degeneracy in a transportation problem. Here where we have the degeneracy in a transportation problem, it means uh, after finding the initial basic feasible solution, we are going to find a optimal solution. Whether when we are calculating the optimal solution, we have to check the given problem in degeneracy or in non-degeneracy by the help of m plus n minus 1 is equal to allocations. By using this formula, we have to check the degeneracy and non-degeneracy. If the given problem, if suppose we have the 5 allocations and n number of 3 rows plus 3 columns minus 1, 5 is equal to 5 means it is in non-degeneracy. No need to go for any resolution of the degeneracy. If suppose we have 4 is not equal to 5 or otherwise 5 is not equal to 4, whatever it may be, 4 is not equal to 5 or 5 is not equal to 4, the problem is in degeneracy. So we have to go for resolving the degeneracy by the help of by taking the here we are going to resolve the degeneracy by taking the epsilon value or minute value we are taking, and we are going to calculate, we are going to resolve that degeneracy. Okay, coming to the example, here I taken three supply stations or origins we are taken, and 3 demand centers I taken, D1, D2, D3. Now I am going to find the initial basic feasible solution. First step, we are going to find the initial basic feasible solution. Here we have 3 methods to solve the given transportation problem, and to find the initial basic feasible solution we have 3 cases. One is northwest corner method, second one is least cost entry method, third one is Vogel's approximation method. From these 3 methods we are going to choose Vogel's approximation method. Why? Because there we have to get the accurate results compared to other techniques. Okay, now we are going to solve the given transportation problem into a Vogel's approximation method for calculating the initial basic feasible solution. Here we have to calculate the penalties. Okay, first, how we are calculating the penalties already we discussed in previous problems. We have to identify the least cost, 2 least costs. In between those 2 least costs we have to take the difference. Okay, coming to the first row, here 3 and 7 are the least costs. The difference between these 2 are 4, and remaining 8 minus 5, the difference between these 2 is 3. These are the penalties. Next, coming to the third row, here we have 5 minus 3, this is equal to 2. Likewise, here coming to this, here we have the columns. Okay, in this column we are going to find the penalties. First, here we have the least costs are 8 minus 3, that is 5. Okay, next one is 7 minus 3, 4. Next, 5 minus 3, 5 minus 3 is 4. Okay, these are the penalties. From these penalties we have to identify the highest penalty. Which one is the highest penalty here? Here the highest penalty is 5. 5 is the highest penalty. Here we are going to allocate the supply and demand values or commodity value we are going to allocate here in this column. After calculating the penalty, highest penalty, again we are going to identify the least cost from the penalty. Here we have the least cost at this cell. Okay, so there we are going to allocate the units. How many units we are going to allocate? Here the demand is 50 and the supply is 70. From this we are taking the minimum value and we are allocating here. Okay, so we are allocating the 50. We are allocating 50 here. After allocation, here demand value is 0 and the supply value is 20. Okay, next coming to the second iteration, here we have 3 origins O1, O2, O3 and 3 demand stations. After satisfying the demand, we have there is no requirement at D1 station. So simply we remove the D1. Then coming to the D2 and D3. Okay, here at O1 and D2 we have 8 units cost, and here we have, sorry, at O1 7 units cost is there, 7, and here 3, next here 8, 9, here 3, 5. Okay, next coming to the supply, what are the supply units? Here what about the supply? 60 at first row, then the second row 20, third row 80, next here 80, 80. Again we are going to calculate the penalties. Okay, here the penalties are 4, here 1, 2. Coming to this, here also 4, 2. From this, where we have the highest penalty? Here we have 2 highest penalties. The tie between the highest penalty. Here we can choose arbitrarily based on the supply and demand values. If suppose if we take this as a entering variable, here we have the least value. If suppose we select this cell, at a time we can supply 60 units. Otherwise, if suppose we take this, here we have the least. From this we are going to supply 80 units. Which one is the better? At a time we can supply 30 units. 80 units at a time. So I would like to take this cell as a leaving cell. I mean this cell as a entering cell. Here I am going to enter 80 units at a time. Okay. After allocation, here we get 0 and here we get 0. Okay. Then coming to the next one. Here we have 01, 02, O1, O2, O3, next D2, D3. Okay, here O3 also satisfied, there is no demand and there is no supply. So simply coming to the O1, 7, 3, 8, 9. Now we are going to calculate the penalties. Here we have the supply is 60, 20. Here the demand is here the demand value, there is no demand, 0, and here we have 80. Okay, in this case we are going to calculate the supply penalties. 8 minus 1, 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. Here 4, 1. From this is the highest penalty. Here we are going to allocate 60 units. After allocating the 60 units, here we are getting 20, and we are going to remove this row. Finally we have O2, D2, sorry, O2 and D2 and D3. From this finally we have 8 and 9 and 20 supply is there, demand 0, 20 is there. Where we required 20, here we are going to allocate. Okay, now we are going to find the total cost. Total cost is here we are allocating 50. It means 50 into 3 plus here 80 into or 3 into 80, whatever it may be. Next here 60 into 3. Next here 9 into 20. Finally we get 150, 240, 180, 180. Okay, from this 500, 550, 550, 650, 710, 750 rupees we obtained from this. Okay, it is a initial solution. Okay, now we are going to calculate the optimal solution. Here before we are going to calculate the optimal solution, we have to check the degeneracy and non-degeneracy. If the problem is if we have the degeneracy, we are going to resolve the degeneracy. Okay, now we are checking the degeneracy by the help of formula n equal to m plus n minus 1 and the allocations we have. Here we have the allocations is, how many allocations we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 allocations we have. Okay, here n is m plus n minus 1 is equal to, what about the m? How many number of rows are there? 3, and columns are 3 minus 3 is equal to 5. Okay, here n is equal to allocations. It is n not equal to allocations. It means 5 is not equal to 4. So the given problem is in degeneracy. Now we are going to resolve this degeneracy by taking the minute values. Okay, by taking the minute value. Okay, after allocation again we are going to cross check the supply values and demand values. Coming to the first row, here 60 and this one is 70 and here 80. The total supply is 210. Okay, next coming to the demand stations. Here the demand is at first center 50, second demand center we have 80, third demand center we have 80, total 210. After allocation it is satisfied. Here we have the degeneracy. Okay, m plus n minus 1 is not equal to allocation. It is 5 is not equal to 4. Now we are going to resolve this degeneracy by adding the minute values. Okay, where we are adding the minute value? First we have to take the unallocated cells. In that unallocated cells we have to identify the least cost value. In that least cost we are going to take the dummy allocation. That the dummy allocation value is, we have taken epsilon, that is minute value we are inserting in that particular cell. Okay, here we have the allocation, here we have the allocation, and here we have the allocation, and here we have the allocation. Okay, then here we don't have the allocation at 5 cells. Those are 8, 7, 11, 5. In this we are going to identify the least cost. Here we have the least cost. So here we are going to add the minute value. After adding the minute value, we are going to calculate the shadow prices. Okay, how we are calculating the shadow prices? Where we are calculating the shadow prices? Shadow prices we are calculating at allocation cells. Okay, here we are taking the shadow prices U1, U2, U3, and here we are taking the shadow prices V1, V2, V3. Now we are going to calculate the shadow prices by the formula Cij is equal to Uy plus Vj. Okay, it is for allocation. Here total how many number of allocations are there? Here we have 5 allocations. After resolving the degeneracy, we have 5 allocations. For that 5 allocations, we are going to calculate the shadow prices. Coming to the first one, here Cij is 3 and where it is located at U1 and V3. Next, coming to the second allocation, here 3, it is at U2 plus V1. Next, third allocation 9 is equal to U2 plus V3. Next, fourth allocation 3 is equal to U3 plus V2. Next, fifth allocation U3 plus V3. Here U1 value is we don't know. U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3 values we don't know. Here we are going to assume any one shadow price value is equal to 0. After taking U1 is equal to 0, we are going to substitute that value here. From this we are going to get V3 value. Here we obtained V3 is 3. And we are going to calculate second one. Here we don't know U2 and V1. Next go for third one. Here we know the V3 value. From this we are going to get U2. U2 is equal to 6 we are getting, because here we know the V3 value. 3, we are going to subtract this 3 from 9. After subtracting we get u2 is 6. Next, here we know the u2 value, so we are going to substitute this u2 value in this equation. From this we are going to obtain v1 value. v1 is equal to 3 minus 6 is equal to minus 3. Okay, next, coming to this, here we know v2 value and u3. Here we don't know the u2 and v2 and u3 value, so simply we go to the another one. Here we know the v3. From this we are getting u3. Here what is the v3? 3. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. u3 is equal to 2. Here we are going to substitute u3 value. From this we get v2. v2 is equal to 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. v2 is equal to 1. Then after calculating the shadow prices, we are going to calculate the optimization value by checking the dij value. dij is greater than or equal to 0 or it is in less than 0. We have to check. If it is reaches delta ij is greater than or equal to 0, the problem reaches the optimality and we are going to calculate the optimal solution. Okay, here delta ij means it is equal to Cij minus Uy minus Vj. It is calculated from the unallocations. Here how many number of unallocations are there? Total we have 4 unallocations. For that 4 unallocations we have to calculate the dij value. Coming to the first one, here O1 D1, the value is O1 D1 means at first we have the O1 D1 is equal to delta 1 1. It is equal to cost value is 8 and shadow price value. Where it is located? At first row, first column. At first row we have the shadow price U1 is 0 and first column we have the shadow price V1 is minus 3. From this we get 8 plus 3 11. Next, coming to the second unallocation, delta 1 2, it is equal to 7 minus cost is shadow price is 0 and here the shadow price value is 1. It is equal to 6. Next, coming to the another one, O2 D2. Here cost value is 8 minus shadow price value is 6 and here the shadow price value is 1. From this we get 1. Okay, next another unallocation is we have at 3 1. Here we are going to get the values. Here we have the cost value is 11 and minus shadow price value is 2 minus of minus 3. From this we are going to get shadow price value is 12. Okay, all dij values are greater than or equal to 0. Here positives 11 6 1 12, these are all greater than 0. Delta ij is greater than or equal to 0, so it reaches the optimality. Now we are going to calculate the optimal solution, that is we are going to calculate the total cost or optimal cost. The optimal cost is we are calculating from the allocations. Here we have 5 allocations. Those are 3 into 60 plus 3 into 50 plus 9 into 20 plus 3 into 80 plus 5 into epsilon. Here we are taking epsilon value. It is a minute value. It means it doesn't affect anywhere. So we are going to substitute epsilon value is equal to 0. After substituting the epsilon value is equal to 0, we get 3 into 60 80 118 plus 150 plus 180 plus 240 plus 0. From this finally we get 750 rupees. This is our total transportation cost from the origins to destinations. Here we are supplying the commodity with the cost of 750 rupees. Thank you.